Alright, ready to go again. Heading for Twin Lakes and Collegiate West. Well, we're almost to the end of a fairly steep climb up from the parking for Mount Elbert access. The Mount Massive trailhead where we got off yesterday. The CT continues on from there, kind of winding, almost a mile, I think, to the Mount Elbert access. And then it comes up the shared trail, and in just a little bit we're going to turn off on the CT, and folks who are hiking to the highest mountain in Colorado will take the Mount Elbert trail. Right, we finally get to go down a little bit. Still haven't seen the split for the Colorado Trail, so there are definitely some inaccuracies in far out right now. I can show you what the elevation profile looks like. It's pretty crazy. So I think it's been that way for a couple years, and I hope they're working on fixing it. But it's a good reason to have a backup like the Colorado Trail data book, so you can compare notes and make sure you're heading the right way, or that you really understand the terrain ahead. All right, there's the sign we've been looking for. We're heading down that way. So we're not sure exactly how far we've come, but probably close to 1.5 miles to 2 miles. And the elevation profile in far out shows that from the Mount Massive trailhead to this point is 0.3, and a super steep up. So yeah, not entirely accurate. All right, I stopped to take a break, and checking the data book, it says it's 1.4 miles from the Mount Massive trailhead to the split, which is much more like what we thought that it was. And there's the elevation profile there. Not steep, but not as bad as it looks and far out. It really is a beautiful morning today. It rained overnight. It's cool. Well, it's gonna probably heat up in the sunshine as the day goes on, but I've got 6.5 miles to go to where the trail crosses the road north of Twin Lakes, and that's where I'm going to turn off and do a little mile road walk down into Twin Lakes to get a little bit more food and maybe some lunch, and then head on from there. Well, there's a bit of a creek crossing. I hope that log is stable. I have a feeling I might end up with a wet foot. Sorry I couldn't film that for you, but that was a real tightrope walk. I don't know if you can see how it's kind of sharp along the edge of that log, like right there in the middle. I was really balancing, but I made it. My feet are dry. After a pretty downhill through an aspen grove, we crossed a creek. Actually, Gunslinger stopped back there to get water, and I forged ahead through some ups. And I was just telling her about a campsite that I was in last year, which I think is that one right there. And unfortunately, that was a very wet night. I came in real late because I had come from halfway through the last section. I think I'd done like 12 to 15 miles or so. And I set my tent as it was getting dark. I didn't realize it was in a dip until it started pouring, and all of a sudden I was in a puddle, and I had to get out in the middle of this thunderstorm, drag my tent uphill a little ways so it wouldn't be completely wet. But all my gear was soaked, which is what led me to stop at the paid campground that's up a ways near Twin Lakes and try to dry myself out. And then I ended up getting really wet again the next night. So it was a rough couple days for me, but thankfully the weather this year is beautiful so far, and we've been staying dry so far, so that's all good. That's hard work. After that initial climb up to the Elbert Mountain Trail, this section of the trail has been amazingly forgiving, just like yesterday. There's flat spots, some gentle ups and gentle downs. I've got nothing to complain about at all. And I'm very glad I'm not on a mountain bike, because some of those climbs looked pretty brutal for them. Back in another lovely aspen grove. I just love the sound of the whispering of the leaves as I go through. I think there's a surprise waiting for me just over there. If I remember correctly, it's a lake. Let's go find out. Check that out, it is. Let's step over here and get a little closer. Whew. Oh, look at that beaver dam in the middle. That's pretty cool. Okay, so maybe that's not technically a beaver dam. I don't know what you call that, a beaver hut. It wasn't damming anything, but it was quite a piece of construction. Just past that lake, this trail meets the Mount Elbert Trail again. I guess if you wanted to, you can go up Mount Elbert from where we started and come back down this way and then continue on the Colorado Trail. Looks like it'd be easy to make a wrong turn here, but Colorado Trail goes that way behind the sign. Check out that fancy new bridge. For what I understand, the other one got washed away, so that one is brand spanking new. And then this crossing area is for livestock, so if you're riding a horse, go that way. 2 feet this way. That even has the new bridge smell. It's pretty cool. I could be wrong, but I think that might be my first view of Twin Lakes. Well, that is the Twin Lakes over there. I've been peeking at them for a bit, but it's hard to get a good picture with all the trees. But maybe as I get lower, I can show them to you. There's a little side trail there that leads down to Twin Lakes Village. And if I continue straight, then I'll stay on the Colorado Trail to the road crossing. From what I've heard, the side trail is steep and not so much fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and just stay on the Colorado Trail till I get to the road crossing. And then if I hang a right on the road, I'll be going downhill about a mile and they'll take me right into the village as well. Guys, the weather is not looking great. So in a minute, I'm gonna see if I can get a forecast if I've got any service. But I thought I'd wait here for a few minutes for Gunslinger because we're gonna be parting ways pretty soon. She's going east, I'm going west. And then hopefully we'll be able to reconnect after we are both back on the main Colorado Trail. Been doing pretty well this morning, and it's just a little after 10. I think I've got 2 miles to go to the road crossing. Maybe I haven't double checked. You wouldn't know that I had just spent like 3 nights in Leadville slackpacking and taking a zero. I had a lovely steak last night at a restaurant in Leadville. And since 10 o'clock this morning, I have been thinking about what I'm going to eat when I get down to Twin Lakes too. So my hiker hunger must be kicking in, which is a good thing. And I'm also feeling a bit stronger. So I'm excited about that and looking forward to getting into the Collegiate West later on this afternoon. Can you see how tall these plants are? It's pretty wild. Most of the time they're ankle high, but I guess they're doing really well in this spot. That's a little bit of a problem. I had to take my pack off to get under those trees. I'm not that good at the limbo. Looking through the trees there, it looks very foggy, hazy over the lake. And there's no rain in the forecast, so I'm not sure why it's like that, but hopefully it will continue to be a nice day. There's a better view of the lakes for you. And the town is down that direction. Well, I stopped for a little break and it started raining. And like I said, there's no rain in the forecast, but sometimes it happens. That's Colorado for you. Well, I've walked about a mile since the trail crossing, and I think I probably got maybe just a quarter mile to go. Somebody did offer me a ride, but they were heading the other direction. I didn't think I had far to go, so I declined. But hopefully maybe I can hitch a ride down to Willis Gulch when the time comes. That is pretty much the town of Twin Lakes. And right over there. This is my road walk. It is not so much fun. Well, day 14 of my Colorado Trail through hike is in the books now. I'm excited that I started the Collegiate West today. Not excited about all the mosquitoes that got into my tent. It was a long day. I went through Twin Lakes and then came up the trail, and I'm pretty tired. I did a little over 12 miles, but I'm hoping I can do 14 to 16 throughout the Collegiate West once I get going. So I'm definitely feeling a lot stronger. My legs are feeling stronger, my lungs are feeling stronger, so that's really, really a good thing. And I'm hoping that I can just, you know, make a lot more speed after kind of a rocky start, you know, a few hiccups that you've heard about already in other videos. So not exactly how I planned the trail to start this year, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm excited that I am doing well right now, that I'm going into the Collegiate West, which is kind of the second third of the trail. And yeah, other than the fact that I took, well, not the first campsite I found, the second campsite I found, and it's not the best. It's pretty slopey, but I don't care. I'm tired, I'm sleepy, and when I get up in the morning, I'm going to be going up and over Hope Pass, which is less than 3 miles away, so that should be a beautiful way to start the day.